This is a 2009 Kawasaki T-Rex 750. Now these monster stickers right here and this green is all factory. Back in 2009, Monster Energy actually did a few units that were actually Monster Energy branded units. Now, is it anything special? I don't think so. It just came, it looks cooler. The green cage is actually pretty cool. Now, rumor has it, when this came to the factory, the dealer would have to hire a Kyle because the entire unit was crated in sheetrock. 3 to 4 layers of sheetrock. And they would have to down 3 or 4 Monster Energies just to bust it down. Had to be a Kyle though. They couldn't hire a John to do the job. Anyway, this is a friend of mine's unit. He asked me if I could help him get it taken care of. And it's not bad. It definitely needs washed. It's been sitting out in his yard for a while now. He bought this or traded for it, honestly, I don't know. And it had caught fire right here. I had seen it previously where it had caught fire. You can see the black on the cylinder. It doesn't look that black in the photos, but it is. The harness had melted right here, had melted part of the injectors and a bunch of stuff up here. It's been a while since I saw it originally. And all of that needed replaced. Now he's replaced most of that and he put a harness on here. But this harness is a 2010 harness and he said he did the research, it won't work. It's got the 2010 ECU on it and it won't work. These T-Rexes for the first few years, they were a little one single year type bikes. So the 08 and the 09 have pretty much the same styling on the front. They look like this. 08 was the only one that came carbureted. 09 was the first year of fuel injection, still had this hood, ignorant, because the only way you can flop this up is to take the cage off. Really bad design. They fixed it the following year in 2010. 2010 would be fuel injected and I believe they still have the same bed. I don't know what else is different, but supposedly when I looked it up, the ECU alone is 09 only, 08 only, and then I think it's 10 to 2012 or something like that. So that's the problem here. Supposedly it has a new stator in it because the stator had melted. All this, you know what, when I saw it the first time, all this stuff wasn't on here. But the stator had melted. He said he put a new stator in it. But he went out, and since these are kind of tough to get a hold of when you have single year model bikes, he went out and got a used, well, he bought a whole quad, a whole nother 900. He bought a whole other side-by-side just for this harness and to be able to utilize for parts. So there we go, a whole nother complete 09. That one, I saw it when I was picking it up. The crank bearings failed, the cylinder failed, something to do with the wrist pin let go. I don't know, motor's trash on that one. And it had been torn down and left outside. Now this one's been razor seat swapped, so it's got nicer seats. The OEM T-Rex seats, they get real hard and they kind of suck. So we're going to swap this harness out today. See if I can remember. See, that's melted. He mentioned wanting to swap that out from the other one. See if we can get this thing back up and going. Now it's got the very trusted V-twin Kawasaki engine in there. Those engines, like if you go out and buy one non-running, the chances are that it's gonna have engine failure are so slim. Like they rarely have a rod knock. They rarely throw the front piston cylinder out. It's just such a great engine. That was sarcasm. Yeah, it's basically, these are like 6.0 Power Strokes, these with the brute forces. The Kawasaki 750s, not 750s, the KFX 700s, the Prairie 650s. I mean, it was all essentially the same platform. But these are just like, the best way to put it is if you're into trucks, they're like 6.0 Power Strokes. You run into some people who say these are the most reliable things that they enjoy. You just got to take care of them right. And then there's everybody else who's like, hey, every time I've owned one of these, I just keep dumping money into it. I know a guy like that. He says he's got the fastest brute force out there. He said they're reliable if you take care of them. So I'm gonna get to tearing into this. We're gonna start here and rip all this inner stuff out. And this should only take me about a minute and a half, super quick. It's nothing. We'll see if this thing, what she'll do. All right, we got the old harness off. That was fun. Now, we're gonna do the reverse of that. I ended up doing this with the hood because this bolt right here is stripped, and you have to be able to get into this right here. There's a speaker inside of here. So he said something about this gauge was different. We'll see. Now let's get our new harness on. I bet you this will take me less than a minute because you'll be able to see on the timestamp on YouTube. And if it's on the internet, it's 100% real. There's nothing ever fake on the internet, you know? All right, it's all back together. Huge mess down here. Only part of it's mine. Let's see. Does the harness fix it? Interesting. We got power to nothing. So, start down here. Our fuses. That fuse block, we're missing one right there. This one had, oh yeah, that's right, it's in the bed. The lid, just a little melted. Come on. Well, the melted part of it. Well, we were missing the main fuse. That makes sense. Broke that melted part right off. So we should have a 30 amp up there for the main. Oh, man. Got some tongs. Let's see if we can get it out with that. Nope. Oh, I guess I'll go find the right tool. Definitely not the right tool yet again, but voila! Ingenuity! Tell you what, he's gonna be excited if I tell him, hey, it was just a harness. Let's try that again. We got nothing. The real question is, why do we not have power? Those connectors run pretty good. So I'm gonna do my best to get this on camera. Let's start here. Well, that might be a problem. He said he was charging this battery, but I don't know about y'all, but 2.5 volts ain't gonna do it. That ain't gonna do shit. All right, we got the jump box hooked up. Now let's see. There we go. Gotta press the brake on these. So there's 2 wires that go to the brake pedal. These are for your sensors, so when you press the pedal, it says, hey, brakes are on, you can start now. He said when he swapped it that the only way it would turn over was with jump in the relay. He wanted to swap the harness. Cool. I know for a fact I did not disconnect those, and those weren't connected. I knew I was missing something up there, but I couldn't figure out what it went to because I didn't disconnect anything. That might be why it wouldn't turn over. So let's try again. Me with my little faith in the V-twins. Kawasaki's. I gotta fix this ignition first. So it said engine brake control or something like that. Fuse don't look all that great to begin with. And I have yet to hear that fuel pump prime. Check these other fuses while we're at it. This one here will be for our fuel pump. That's sketchy. So I'll just replace it. Go ahead and pull this one out too. I think it said fan. That's definitely popped. That sounds healthy, don't it? Oh, there's not even an air filter in here. So I wanted to verify, I made sure the fuel pump, fuel pump's bad for sure. This is the front plug. Janky. Might be why we're turning over slow even with my jump box hooked up. Now my jump box being hooked up to a bad battery sometimes can be deceiving. The battery won't allow it to turn over as fast as it should. Let's try this and see if it's got spark. Spark on that coil right there. Let's try a different plug though. All right, so I got another plug here. It's new. It's not even the right size, but I want to know if the plug is why we don't have spark. No spark. No spark on this coil. See if the other one happens to have spark. Leave that plug out of there for now. That's good. Yeah. No spark on this one either. Now we could have a multitude of issues here. I mean, could be this Chinese ignition that's on it. Could be these Chinese coils. There's so many variables of stuff that's been messed with on this thing that it's hard to say what would cause it to not have any spark at all. I have to look into it. This is where on Marketplace somebody be like, all it needs is a CDI. So I guess we're gonna do some troubleshooting here in a little bit. It's hard to troubleshoot knowing that you don't have a good battery in it though, so it's probably gonna have to wait till the battery comes. Because that thing's, even with the plugs out, that thing's still turning over slow. All right, so he brought me a battery. It's a used battery. Got that put in. It's an automotive battery, and that thing is absolutely huge for this thing. So that should turn it over faster. And he brought me a used fuel pump out of his parts bike, which we'll see if this is about to work or not. I kind of want to try this. He also brought coils, and I wanted to try it before I did coils. Just to verify if these Chinese coils are a problem or not. If it might have just came down to bad battery voltage, which is likely. We're turning over quickly, so that's a plus. I'm gonna try to set this here. Let's see if we got spark. None. Before I go troubleshooting and spending time reading through the manual and stuff like that, we're going to swap these OEM coils onto here. I'd rather have used OEM coils all day long over cheap China coils. All right, we're gonna give this another shot with the OEM coil. Nothing. So I didn't want to spend too much time troubleshooting why this doesn't have spark, because I'm kind of starting to wonder if it's something in here with the stator. He did replace the stator, and I'm wondering if the engine pickup coil could have got put in upside down. The ohms test out exactly as they should for that, so I'm guessing that's not going to be a problem. But as I was turning it over, and now it's actually able to turn faster, I tested the coils, and I wanted to make sure this thing has compression. All right, so let's see. This is on our rear cylinder back here. It's a little over 60. These have decomp cams, so I'm not exactly sure what the compression should be at. All right, so we got 60 in the rear. Let's see what our front cam has, our front cylinder. I guess it is still the front cam. My piece come out. I had a red Loctite that in. Looks like it's bleeding. It's permanent now. All right, let's try it now. Wide open. Ooh, that's gross. That is gross. 30 PSI. That's not a phone call he's gonna like from me. I'm gonna pretend. I'm gonna call him back. Hey man, it's running, come get it. Really? Yeah. And then be like, nah, I'm just kidding. It's not good. It's not good. Dang, I can't get this thing off. It's like a two-hand job to get the dang gauge off of there. Remember, this is the cylinder that had that. So that is likely our problem. And I can imagine the reason why this one's worse is you see how this throttle body, this half of the throttle body, this is the other half. There's one intake right there, and it goes straight up and down, straight down into the head. This one's at an angle. Goes like that, which, I don't know, it may make absolutely no difference, and it's all in my head, but stuff could fall straight into that. That's got to come in at an angle. That requires some of that sideways rain, Now, I guess we could see if oil brings the compression up a little bit. This should tell us that, basically it needs rings and cylinders damaged. So let me pump some oil in there. All right, now let's do this wide open, like a Creed song. Yeah, means it's more than likely the rings. We're looking at what, 50 PSI with oil in there? Try it again. Second go around got us a little over 30. Staying pretty consistent at 30 now. Now, technically, I don't necessarily know what specs are for this one. With decompression cams, you can have lower compression ratings where it doesn't say like, hey, this is 120 PSI compression. Technically, you'd use like a leak down test or something like that. But that is not even within 10 PSI of the other. And I bet you that cylinder wall rusted out. And within 10% PSI of each other. I said 10 PSI. I'm gonna keep saying that wrong because I had it wrong for a long time. Try it again. Put some oil in there, bumped it up to 35 PSI if that. But it's like half the pressure as the rear cylinder. And these front cylinders are kind of what's known for failing. Something to do with oil starvation. Basically, it burns just a little bit of oil or loses a little bit of oil. He was explaining to me, the dude I know that does brute parts real well. The guy over at Brutal Parts, he could explain it better than me. He knows brutes very well, which this is the same thing, the exact same motor, minus I think the gearing and the inside the internals are different. Aside from that, it's the same thing. Something to do with it burns a little bit of oil on the front. And that's what people do, is they burn them up like that. Now I get to go make a very, very sad phone call because he was very excited to get this going again earlier.
Hello.
Hey man, what's going on?
Not much, man.
So I'm over here troubleshooting this thing, and I started noticing that it didn't seem like it was pushing as much air out as it should. Anyway, I did a compression test on it, and the front cylinder is not good.
Are you serious?
Yeah, so the rear cylinder is sitting at 60 psi, which is good. The rear, when I did it dry, the rear came in at right under 30. With a little bit of oil in there, it was at 35. And I did manage to, I dumped a bunch of oil in there and got it up to like 50 or right under 60. But that's the same cylinder that had that rusty spark plug.
Yeah.
And so likely water got in there.
Didn't have any oil in it or what?
No, it came back down. Right now it's sitting at 30 something, like it was like 34-ish.
So do you think you need to rebuild the cylinders on it, re-ring it, or what?
Likely. I mean, that cylinder's probably shot with rust in it.
Yeah.
I still haven't, like, as far as spark goes, I just tested the coils and I tested the ohms on that, the pickup coil.
What are you thinking on that?
I'm thinking it's your call, what you want to do, because I don't know how much money you want to dump in this thing.
Well, can you, I guess, I mean, if we're gonna have to rebuild one, might as well rebuild them both if we're gonna go that route. Don't you agree?
Well, that's kind of how it has to go, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, can you put numbers together and give them to me, and we'll go from there?
All right, so the verdict is he's just gonna part ways with this unit. He asked me to put some numbers together, what it would cost to fix it and all that. One of the downsides with it is with that issue, you're not gonna know until you tear it apart. And once you tear it apart, the thing's not really worth very much. It could be just as simple as could put some new rings in it, hone the cylinder and call it a day. That is kind of best case scenario. Worst case scenario, you know, you got to do new pistons, new rings, and all of that. I really don't want to use cheap parts and do all that work again. I do not want another Yanmar situation. He's got 3 of these things. So there's this one. There is a red 2010 that when I was on the phone with him yesterday, he found out that the bottom end was full of water. It was supposed to be a good engine in it. Probably isn't. And then the parts bike he bought just for this unit, which the motor is trash on. With all that being said, the motor needs work, plus the fact that there's still no spark in the time troubleshooting it. For somebody who wanted one of these for themselves, if this was my personal unit, would it be worth fixing? Of course. But if you're paying someone to fix it, you gotta pay for parts. He's trying to be ready to go for hunting season, and hunting season's right around the corner. I don't know when opening season is here, but it's very soon. And since he got this unit as is, non-running, there could be other issues that are still unknown. 4-wheel drive issues, rear differential issues. I mean, it all seems fine, but you really don't know that stuff until you get into it. Could have clutch issues. There could be other stuff. I mean, it could still technically have a rod knock that we didn't know about. Didn't sound like it when I was turning it over, but it is a V-twin Kawasaki, so this is his call to fix it or not fix it. In my personal opinion, I think instead of fixing the 3 or the 2, it was probably a better call to just part ways with him, buy something that's ready to go for the season, and call it done. What would y'all do? Would y'all fix this? Does look cool. Definitely does look cool. I love the green. Thanks for watching. Stick around and let's see what's up next week. Maybe we have something cool in here. I told him I'd help him find him another nice unit, so we'll make sure that get him a good deal on something that's not a money pit, because he said he's got a lot of money in this already. I have no idea how much money, but I do know he's bought a stator, I believe bought throttle bodies, all the accessories he put on it. And there was some more stuff. I'm forgetting what else he put on it, but there was more than that. There's quite a bit of parts back here in the bed. This is the burnt up old harness. In my opinion, what probably happened is that harness caught fire. Someone took it apart, and left those throttle bodies out and exposed. Even with this roof on here, which I don't know if the roof has always been on here, because I don't remember it having a roof the first time I saw it. It might have though. Even with this roof on here, getting water down through here into those throttle bodies is still very possible. Not to mention, sitting through certain seasons where it's real damp outside, you know, you get the real rainy season, like the moisture in the air will make its way in there and ruin a cylinder. Like if you have to leave one outside like that, you can put a trash bag over it, but the trash bags will deteriorate, so you only get a little bit before that doesn't protect anything anymore.